Humans, all humans have one same enemy, just one enemy, and that enemy is fear. We all have fear. We experience fear. So we experience fear, most especially fear of dying, fear of death. So that is one fear that all humans have. So we have the same enemy, which is fear. So fear is holding us back as human. Fear is holding a lot of us back as human. Like we are not doing things or achieving things or getting what we want to manifest in life based on fear of losing something or fear of not being good enough. So all humans, everyone has fear. So that is what I'm going to talk about on this video, why you should beat your fears. You can't beat all your fears, but you have to let your fear be hidden. Don't let your fear be out there for people to know that you are afraid. Based on people, all humans, we feed on others' fear. We feed on other people's fear. So that is the truth. You might feel that is wrong, but it's the truth. We feed on other people's fear. So if you don't understand this, a lot of people are out there feeding on your fear. So you have to beat your fears. Based on, if you're not beating your fears, a lot of people are going to feed on your fears. So you can't kind of manifest things into your life based on fear. So you have to know this. So that is what I'm going to talk about on this video. Stay to the end of this video so that you can understand this topic. You already know my name is Usa Kevin and it's Evergreen TV. So like I said, all humans, we have fear. So we fear death. We fear losing loved ones. We fear losing things. We fear going broke. We fear not being good enough. We fear rejection. We fear a lot of things. So we are afraid of a lot of things. So we have to know what we are afraid of. So you as a human being, you have to know what scares you, what you are afraid of. So when you know what you are afraid of, you're going to face this fear and start beating it. Based on, if you don't know what you are afraid of, a lot of people are going to feed on these fears that you have. So that is why I'm doing this video. So like you have to fight your fear, you have to beat your fear. So one of the fear like a lot of people have, all humans, is the fear of death. So it's difficult to beat that fear, but you have to face it and like just accept it, like it's gonna happen. But before it happens, I gotta do something. I gotta make my life important. I gotta do something for the world, for the universe. So thinking like that can help you like not think about that fear of death. Like you can't beat it, but it's there, but you kind of like hiding it, like you're compressing it with something. Like when you have a purpose, when you're doing your purpose, so you wouldn't really think about fear of dying. So a lot of people are not doing things based on the fear of dying. They're afraid of dying, they're afraid of death. So a lot of people are afraid of death. So that is one fear that all humans have. Afraid of losing someone, afraid of losing someone. Maybe you are in a relationship with someone, or you're afraid of losing a loved one, like you kind of not wanting this person to live your life, so you kind of doing some certain things to keep this person in your life. So if someone understands that you are afraid of losing someone, you are someone who is afraid of losing things, like you are afraid of losing someone, anyone you meet and that person understands that you are afraid of losing someone, that person is going to use it against you. It's going to feed off that energy. It's going to feed off that energy of fear of you losing someone, like you're afraid of losing someone. So you have to like heed it. You cannot get rid of it, but you have to control it. So it's not getting rid of the fear, it's controlling it. You have to face it and control it. So when you face it, you know it. So a lot of people are not knowing their fear based on they're not facing it. If you don't face your fear, you can't know what you're afraid of. If you can't face life, like face the challenges, so life is going to give you like some challenges based on that is what you are afraid of. So you have to face it so that you can beat those fears and know what you are afraid of. So when you face it and you have the other side, you're gonna like, oh, it's not that difficult. There's nothing. I was just afraid for nothing. So you have to know this. Your fear, a lot of people are feeding off your fear. So they are feeding off your fear. Fear is the only way of control. So if you have fear, a lot of people will control you. So how much of your fear have you beaten? So if you beat much of your fear, now you're gonna lose most of this control. Like a lot of people are not able to control you now, based on now you're controlling this fear. Now you're controlling yourself. The more you are able to control your fear, the more you are able to compress your fear, face them and control it. That is how a lot of people, we kind of like let loose of you. They can't really control you, based on you're not afraid what fear is someone gonna use against you now. So when you controlling your fear, you're not afraid of nothing. So you are controlling it, not that you are controlling your fear, that you're doing things that you're not supposed to do. So that's why fear is necessary. So we are afraid, humans are afraid. It's like a way of control, like a way of controlling ourselves. So you have to like control this fear. So a lot of people beat their fear. So they use that knowledge of like they've beaten their fear to do things, like they start doing things that they're not supposed to do. So the knowledge is not supposed to be for everyone. Like you have to be someone who is developed enough to understand the knowledge, like what is keeping you back in life is your fears. So fear is a way of controlling people. So the government like put fear on people to control them. So if you don't have fear, you're gonna kind of get out of control. So like I said, my videos, I make videos for people that are up to the level of consciousness to understand. So if you are someone that has beat your fear, and like you know that there's some secret behind death, like you are not supposed to be afraid of death. So there are some secret behind that. So the high level, the high ranking people, like the people that are really controlling the world, know that secret. Like they are not afraid of death, so they don't want the public to know about it. So, and it's good. So because if the public know about it, there's gonna be a problem. Like no one is gonna be able to like follow the law, and they cannot really control no one. So fear is a way of controlling people. So you have to beat your fear. The more you beat your fear, the less people are able to control you. It's because you have a lot of fear. That's why your boss is controlling you, telling you shit, insulting you, like saying shit to you. You are afraid of being broke. You are afraid of losing your job. You are afraid of not being able to pay your rent. You are afraid of being homeless. You are afraid of a lot of things. So when you are afraid, like you're having this fear, like you thinking about this, and what you think, you kind of start bringing situations and circumstances, like the law of attraction. What you think is gonna come to you. Like you attract what you think all the time. So when you're thinking like that, your boss is gonna start acting to you that way. So you're gonna start seeing situations and circumstances that's gonna manifest what you're thinking into your life. So you have to beat your fears. So beat your fears. So don't really look at people and think people are your enemy. These people are not your enemy. So if someone is jealous of you, if someone is like feeling bad about you, if someone is kind of hating you, that is just your fear in front of you, like in a human form. If this person is oppressing you, is because you are not able to beat that fear. That person is using it against you. If this person is oppressing you, that you're not good enough, you ugly, you're not good enough. So now you are afraid of not being accepted. And that person knows that you are afraid of not being accepted. So they're gonna bully you. That person is just your fear, like in a human form. So you have to beat it. So when you face that person, like you don't really care if someone don't accept you, you see that person will not be able to bully you anymore. Now you've beaten the fear of not being accepted. So if your boss talk to you in some ways that you don't like, and this boss keeps saying shit to you, and you take it, you are afraid of losing your job, you are afraid of not being able to pay your rent, not being able to take care of your family, not being able to get a new job. The situation of the economy is hard. So what is gonna be if you leave your job? So now your boss know that you have that fear, so he's gonna use it against you. He's gonna feed off that fear. So when you are not afraid of losing your job, you are not afraid of any situation, based on no condition is permanent. So when you are able to beat that fear, your boss cannot say shit to you anymore, based on you beating that fear. So your boss is just the fear of you not being able to pay your rent, you being homeless. So that fear is just your boss in the human form. So if you can beat those fear, you're gonna leave that condition. It's gonna fade away based on you've beat that fear. That boss is no longer needed in your life. So that boss is just there to help you beat your fear. So you've beaten that fear. Now the boss is gonna go. You're gonna find a way to leave the job. Either you quit or the boss says you should leave based on you're not really you're not afraid anymore. So when you've beaten your fear, you're gonna leave that level of consciousness. You're gonna go higher. So the more you beat your fear, the more you're higher in consciousness, the more you are smarter, the more you can do things well, the more you can face fear, you can face whatever situation, whatever circumstances, you're gonna start progressing. So a lot of people are stuck in one level based on they are not able to beat their fear. So when you beat your fear, you're gonna leave that level. So you have to know this. Beat your fear. Beat your fear. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of not being accepted. Don't be afraid of not being good enough. Don't be afraid of losing things. Don't be afraid of it, because everything in life is just for a while. You have to know this. So I hope this video helped you guys out there. Star Seed Tuesday 1. You already know my name is Usa Kevin and it's Evergreen TV. I'll see you guys on my next video. Ciao. See you guys on that video.